Bowlers, SRH has traditionally always invested in them, right? I think SRH and RR
Indian
are two
bowlers.
teams,
Yeah.
right? Are two
Hmm.
teams in the IPL who go by this funda that batsmen win you matches, but bowlers win you
So
tournaments,
Harry
right?
is going to be one of the gun players for them in the middle order, which they were lacking last year. Last year they went with Nicholas Puran, who was another. It was like the West Indian Maxwell for me. So this time he went to he's gone to Lucknow Super Giants, right? So
Right.
we'll discuss that when you preview that team.
Hello, all, and welcome to a new YouTube video on the Third Man Musings. So, in our previous two videos, we completed the previews for our two favorite teams, MI and RCB. Today, we'll be previewing the third team, which is Sunrisers Hyderabad. Sunrisers Hyderabad last year were an enigma, right? Typically a consistent side who do well in their bowling, but this time around their bowling wasn't quite up to the mark, and they finished eighth in the IPL. This time around, there's a change in their fortunes, hopefully, because they've changed their captain, their iconic marquee captain, Kane Williamson, and they've gone ahead with Aiden Markram this time around. And Aiden Markram, in fact, won the title for the Sunrisers with their South African team, Eastern Cape Sunrisers. So, can that translate in the Indian Premier League as well? That will be interesting to see. Sumit, your thoughts on Sunrisers, especially their auction strategy this year, and will we see them make it to the playoffs this time?
Yeah, so they had the maximum purse in the auction by far, and one of the surprising things for us, as we discussed in our auction reviews, was also that they did not get any of the gun players as we expected, because they didn't get any of the big all rounders, and that was a bit bewildering. But now I think once we were analyzing the squad, we figured why they did what they did, and we'll go over that. And they invested in specialists because they probably want to use the impact substitution more. So let's go over the squad and then we'll discuss the intricacies why they must have gone board. So going with the batsmen, the batting looks much better than last year because they were desperately searching for an opener with Abhishek Sharma, who they had promoted as an opener last year itself. But he did a stupendous job, but they were lacking the support for him. So they went for Mayank Agarwal, who also needs a fresh lease of life because poor guy was in Punjab, so that doesn't help people. And now he's not in the Indian team, so he needs that break. So this is a good opportunity for both of them to help each other out. And then the big signing was Harry Brook. I'm a big fan of this guy. He's just mastered all formats and this crazy aggressive brand of cricket he has. So a very useful middle order player, and the best part is he's a PSL product. Like IPL creates superstars. PSL created this superstar, and ironically, he did not play PSL this time. He got a big fat contract in IPL, so he's coming here. He's not playing in current PSL. So Harry is going to be one of the gun players for them in the middle order, which they were lacking last year. Last year they went with Nicholas Puran, who was another. It was like the West Indian Maxwell for me. So this time he went to he's gone to Lucknow Super Giants, right? So
Right.
we'll discuss that when you preview that team. So two very good buys in terms of batting, plugging in the middle order issue and the opener issue, and they bought Klassen for backup in case Glenn Phillips doesn't work out. So all in all, a very well balanced batting lineup. Coming to all rounders, so yeah, so one thing I noticed last year was how Sundar was used. Do you foresee any different way? Because this guy really has immense batting talent. You see, he could be used
Yeah,
a bit
I
differently.
feel he could come up higher up the order, maybe
Hmm.
six or maybe even five, eight times. He could be used as a floater because even
Hmm.
when he's performed for India over the last few months, we have seen his batting pedigree, right? And he has shots all around the wicket, especially some shots which I think he was deftly playing it
The
down to
classical.
fine leg and third man. So this guy has the potential. He could make it big. Marco Janssen, let's see how many chances he gets in the playing 11. But again, on his good day he can do really well, right? Last season also we did see that he had a couple of impactful spells, and Abhishek Sharma also had a good season for SRH last year. In fact, even though they finished
Top
8th, this
scorer.
guy was very consistent, got close to 450 or 490 runs in the IPL, right? So from the all-rounders point of view, they're looking good. And bowlers, SRH has traditionally always invested in them, right? I think SRH and RR
Indian
are two
bowlers.
teams,
Yeah.
right? Are two two
Hmm.
teams in the IPL who go by this funda that batsmen win you matches but bowlers win you tournaments, right? So
Yes.
again, we see the bowling is good. There's Umran Malik, and SRH has traditionally always had that Afghanistan connection, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Fazal Farooqui,
Gotcha.
a left arm.
Quick.
Afghan
Mm-hmm.
pacer, who's been doing well recently, so they've got him. Kartik Tyagi has been spoken of highly in the Indian domestic circuit, and Natarajan Bhuvaneshwar, have always been in the SRH ranks. So that will be interesting to see how this bowling lineup comes together this year. Adil Rashid, we thought was a very good pick, right? In our
Hmm.
post-auction analysis, also very underrated T20 bowler, but is a wicket-taking bowler. If you always see him bowling for England, he takes those two, three key wickets and ties the opposition down. And Mayank Markande and Akil Hussain again will be interesting to see how they'll fit in. Markande is a leg spinner who's done well for MI previously. Akil Hussain is
Hmm.
a good left arm spinner as well. So they have brought in some variety into the mix here. Sumit, anything interesting about these greenhorns? Especially Vivrant
Yeah.
Sharma was a big pick in the auction, right? Your thoughts on the
Yes.
greenhorns for this year?
So yeah, one of those surprise picks, which raises from 20 lakhs to multi crores. So this guy went for I think 2.5 crores. So about him, from whatever I've read and seen, he's like a left-hand batsman and a tonker and a leggy who bowls like Varun Chakravarti. So maybe they're going for a bit of a mystery element. So
Right.
the good thing you can see is all three are like youngsters, Indian youngsters, and they are all rounders. So they are clearly backing them for the impact player rule, wherein they can bring in for their bowling or their batting depending on the match situation. Sanveer Singh again is a right hand batsman, bowls a bit of off spin, and Mayan Dagar is an interesting pick because he is very similar to Jagdish Suchit, who was their primary spinner last year, and he also used to tonk the ball. So similar styles wherein this guy bowls left arm but is a right hand batsman. So all three will be definitely used as one of the impact substitutes. I don't see them making the first 11 unless there are major injury issues, but good picks. I mean, uh, these were the potential talent that was talked about before the auction, so they went for these guys. So clearly the scouting network did their job. So coming to the ideal 11 as per our analysis. So they have plugged the hole with the openers. So Mayank and Abhishek will start. And I hope Mayank does not, in Punjab, because of Besto and Dhawan, he had to come down the order. And that's not his game. He struggles in the middle order. So he should get back his opening slot. And Rahul Tripathi, I wanted to discuss him separately, but this guy is a gem of a player and completely come up through the ranks. Used to be the finisher at 7 for KKR and now bats at 3 and is a very selfless player. That's what I love about him, right? Doesn't have the style or anything, but is like a fighter and best thing is selfless. He doesn't care for his own runs. He'll play for the team no matter what the
And
situation. He'll
busy
go for the
player
ball.
right from ball one, right? I have never
Yeah,
seen him
yeah.
like prod or anything. From the first ball, he starts going for it. So,
Yes, and if the ball is moving around, he just runs down the track and starts hitting it. So a perfect T20 player to have, and India is also going to give him some opportunities going forward. So I hope this guy does very well. He's a one of those late bloomers, right? Which IPL gets us very not the youngsters of 20, 21 year old. So the top three look solid, and top three are Indians. That's I think the best part. The dependency on foreign players for the top order is not there. They've got two, three solid Indians and then comes the middle order, which is a backbone, which they lacked last year. Like I mentioned, Pooran was a complete failure for them. So, do you see any change in this batting order? I mean, Brook at 5 seemed a bit low to me, but I think that's his slot, and he might get promoted depending on the match situation, honestly. But yeah, do you see any change in this
the
4, 5,
first thing
6?
when I see this playing 11, 4,
Mm,
5, 6 from an opposition point of view is scary, right? It's scary.
mm,
Markram, Brook, and Phillips. And if Phillips can replicate his T20
World
World
Cup.
Cup form,
Mm,
let's be honest, he single handedly carried New Zealand to the World Cup semi final, right? I mean, couple of his knocks were brilliant. And that Brook Phillips combination, from overs 11 to 20 could be
yeah, yeah,
devastating for the opposition. So, that's a great middle order. They'll just hope the top order gives them that platform to carry
start.
through, right?
Mm,
And then the lower order as well. Sundar can also play that finisher's role, and the bowling as well. Hopefully, this year they bring it together, right? Bhuvneshwar, Umran, and Natarajan will need to have a
Mm.
good season this time, being the paces, and then they need to give that platform for Adil Rashid to then come in the middle overs. Let's say
Hello.
from overs 8 to 13 or something like that, right? The middle overs where batsmen try to milk the bowling. Adil Rashid will be very useful if he picks up 2-3 wickets and prevents the opposition from getting that platform to go big in the last 5 overs. So the bowling is looking good, the middle order is looking good. I think the top order will, the way they go, will decide how this team goes in the IPL.
Progresses. Yes. And the smart picks, they have Adil Rashid, a foreign leggy. They got Mayank Markande in case they want to play an all Indian attack and play for get in Jansen. That's
Right.
flexibility they've
That's
given
also a good
themselves,
alternative. Yeah.
especially when the pitch is swinging. I mean, if it's not a spin rank, there's no rank turners in IPL, but if it's a supporting spin, then it's not a supporting spin. You can play all four paces with Jansen as the number 9. And he again bats. He's a tonker of a ball. So Jansen is there. Akil Hussain, again, he can hit the ball, hit a long ball, and he's a wily off spinner, finger spinner, but he won't like break the opposition back with his wicket. But he's on the Sundar mode, I will say, more restrictive. So backup pacers is Karthik Tyagi. They have in case the Indian pacers have some injury. Natarajan is an IPL product also, where we discovered him in IPL with those jokers that he had. So he will be hoping to have a decent season. He did have a good season last year as well, but Umran Malik I think overshadowed everybody with his pace, and he got 22 wickets, which is huge. So it's a very well balanced lineup, and I think initially after the auction, I was wondering they might have missed by not taking on the big all rounders, but they were very clear what they
Yeah.
wanted. They
The
saw
squad
the
looks well rounded, to be
well
honest. It
rounded,
looks well
yeah.
rounded.
And they plugged the gaps they had last year, which is more important because they were really struggling with Sundar coming in at 6, and then they had Romario Shepherd, who has an economy of 10 plus in his final overs. So it wasn't working. So, very good auction strategy in hindsight. Coming to the impact players, yeah. So, first one is Aiden Markram because of so many reasons. Because he had a very good season last year, and he won your South African Premier League right now with his team, which was a Sunrisers team as well. And now he's the South African T20 captain. So suddenly everything is working out for this guy, and he's fairly young, very talented. So let's see how his captaincy style is. I haven't seen it personally, so it will definitely be an aggressive brand. Uh, Maybe we return to the Warner time, where when Warner and SRH were like a
Right.
web marriage, which worked out. I mean, they did not. So, so they were hoping for an aggressive captain. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's an impact player because he can bat anywhere in the top 4. So yeah, next one,
Right.
yeah,
And then
Brook.
moving on to Harry Brook, I think this has to be one of the most exciting picks in the IPL overall, right? Because
Hmm.
this guy has, in the T20 World Cup, he was very good. Even in Test cricket, he's, adapted so
Oh yeah,
easily, right? Against the Test in New Zealand, also, he scored 186 odd, and he truly, is the reflection of baseball in Test cricket as well right now. So this guy is exciting. I will not be surprised if he has a 400 plus run season in this
done.
IPL,
Hmm.
right? And he might be a game changer for them. And Sunrisers will have their hopes pinned on him, right? In the middle order, where he can maybe consolidate early if needed.
Yes,
He has a good defensive game also. He's
he does.
not
He
all
does.
bang bang, right? So if wickets fall early, he can consolidate. If they have a good platform, he can go big at the end. So if Sunrisers need to have a good season, undoubtedly Harry Brook needs to have a great season.
And the huge price tag is one of the things, right, where it plays on the player's head. But I think this is an exception. Again, he's come from the PSL school of cricket, so he is well versed playing spin. And ironically, his test debut was also against Pakistan in Pakistan, so there also he killed them. So he owes a lot to Pakistan. But yeah, Pakistan don't like him now with his ditching of PSL. And last one is Umran Malik. So like a tearaway quick, very exciting prospect for India as well. So he will get hit for runs with that pace. That's fairly obvious. But that guy, he's a very smooth action, very Dale Steyn-esque action, and he even copies his celebration. And Steyn is only coaching him, so you can see a bit of footprint there. So very excited to. It's a joy to watch him because you know something is going to happen. It's either going to be a boundaries or he'll take a wicket. or even he'll hit the batsman with his spade. So he had a stellar season with 22 wickets last IPL, and this year also he's going to be that. And the way he is used is so important because he should not be used in the first six, I believe, because of his pace. The ball will keep flying off, especially with
Yeah,
third man, I think, for
definitely.
boundaries and sixes. So he used to come after 6 overs, and he should be the middle order enforcer along with Adil Rashid. That will be a deadly combination, in the middle overs to take wickets, stop the runs. So I hope he's used well. I hope he stays fit. That's one of the bane for our Indian paces currently. So we preserve him, and let's hope he makes it to the World Cup as well.
And from an Indian cricket perspective, this IPL for Umran is crucial, right? He needs
Hmm.
to have a good IPL because in the 50 over World Cup consideration, if he wants to make
It's
it in
really
the squad and eventually into the playing 11, this IPL he needs to take at least 20 wickets or so to stake a big claim. Because right now
yeah,
there's
yeah.
Shami, there's Siraj,
Siraj.
Bumrah might come back into the mix for the World Cup.
Mahi.
Given his reputation, so where
Hmm.
Umran fits in, and India is maybe even contemplating having either a Shardul or Deepak, right, in the playing 11. So
Yeah, for
it's
the batting at
important that
eight.
Umran has a very good IPL to become that X factor in that Indian ODI World Cup squad as well.
So the current Indian ODI setup, I'm very sure they want to extend the batting. So Shardul or Deepak will get an extended run. Right now, look like Shardul. Then you have three slots left, which obviously one slot is a spinner slot with Kuldeep and Chahal. So he's actually fighting for two slots. And the way Siraj and Shami are bowling, they are always going to be first choice. So he needs to have good IPL and just be in the squad and be a very viable backup. I still think his maximum impact is in T20. So I would love to see him in the World Cup next year. ODIs, I still think, yeah, might be a bit much for his body. So let's see. I just hope it's another case of Munaf Patel again, where we find somebody in 150. But this guy has shown it. He's bold enough to show
Right.
that he's not going to stop. So
Luckily,
that's
his
the good thing.
action is, as you said, smooth and
Very
fluid, right?
smooth.
It doesn't look like an
Mm.
action, let's say, like a Bumrah or a Jofra Archer, where you feel there's a
Uh,
lot of stress on the bat.
Stress on the bat.
It looks like
Mm.
a very fluid action, and hopefully, he'll be able
And
to
the run
keep
up is
that.
good. I mean, it's a big run up, unlike Bumrah and Jofra, who just walk down and bowl at 140 plus. So, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, exciting team to watch this year with the way they've bought. So, I'll be looking forward to seeing how they do. And,
Right.
yeah,
And after a lot of years, I think SRH has got an exciting team. Usually they have had
the
teams,
safe team.
where 11 good players try to make one decent
Uh-huh.
performance. This time there are two or three star players who could, really turn the tide for them. Your thoughts, Sumit?
Yeah.
Playoff chances? How optimistic are you?
So they might sneak into the top four, but
Mm-hmm.
mm, I, so I think till now you've previewed RCB and MI. So MI, I said they'll go through. RCB, you said they'll go through. So two slots are already done. CSK pending. Gujarat is remaining. So yeah, tough one to say. I mean, if this lineup plays well and they find the combination, I think that one of the things we underrate is the combination which IPL teams find, and it's so important because there's always a lull in the middle. You peak, you plateau, and then the very important part is to get up again. That's what CSK used to do so well. They used to win or lose every odd match. They would always
Right.
be in the reckoning and not fall off the edge with five losses in a row. So if they can find that combination in the beginning, I think they are good. And it really depends on the Bhuvneshwar and Natarajan. I think they are going to be key because I'm very confident about Rashid and Umran. But if Bhuvi has a poor IPL, they will again have to go to a uncapped Indian pacer. So 50-50 for
Right.
me. I would
Right.
say
That's
they
a good
should
point you
fight for the
mentioned
fourth
on
slot.
Bhuvneshwar, right? Because now even
Hmm.
in the 50 over setup and the T20 over setup, India I think has made it clear that we are done with
Yes.
Bhuvneshwar. So what are his motivation levels for this season will need to be
Hmm.
seen, and hopefully he has that one last thing in his career now where he wants to prove that he can still make it at the highest level. So I mean SRH will be banking that that will be motivation enough for him to do well in this IPL.
Great. Okay.
So,
So
folks,
yeah.
on that note, that was our preview for SRH. SRH fans, let us know, how our preview was. Do share in your comments. Do let us know if you're optimistic for your team to make it into the playoffs this year. We'll be previewing seven other teams as well. So, look forward, to those seven teams previews as well. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. And keep those comments coming. We would love to hear more thoughts from you on that. So on that note, it's a wrap from Sumita and I, and look forward to our previews for other teams as well. Till then, take care and
Okay.
bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.